It's been a week, 10 days since the IPL finished. It's so hot. What to do? Well, there's a lot of things to do. And firstly, please take care of your health. But on the cricketing side of things, we are here to suggest a few things you could do. But before that, some introductions. My name is Antariksh. I've been joined by Akash and Johns. And yes, this is Cricbattle. Now, some of you might wonder what is Cricbattle. Now, Cricbattle is the only platform in the world that offers auction and draft forms of fantasy cricket. Now, you're already aware of the words cricket. You're already aware of the words fantasy cricket. Now, what is draft auction? Let me explain. In normal draft fantasy or in normal fantasy cricket, what do? You log on to a big site or a big platform. You select your team, whether it's for T20 or for Test cricket, and then you watch the match and hope for things to go your way, right? In draft fantasy, it is similar, but there's one big difference. In normal fantasy cricket, the players you select can also be selected by thousands or lakhs of crores of other people, and so they get points for you, but they also get points for other people who are trying to compete, right? But in draft fantasy cricket, it's a big change. The player you select is there only in your team, not on anybody else's team. So does it mean that lakhs of people are playing the same league? No. You have mini leagues, but the benefit you have is that if you have done your analysis, if you have done some scouting, if you have stayed up late at night with pen and paper trying to figure out these are the conditions, these are the players, this is the player who's got a better chance of working well, then you should be amply rewarded for that, my friend. And that is what draft fantasy, or rather draft auction cricket does, right? Now, there are a few more unique things which we'll explain as we go along. And today, in fact, in this live, we are also going to show you a live draft auction thing for the big WTC final beginning today. But before that, uh, that's also the question about how point scoring is done, right? Now, before I explain to you how point scoring is unique, let me explain to you why it's already got a lot of credibility attached. Now, the point scoring, the bonus point scoring system has been devised by Covers of. It's the world's leading subscription-based fantasy cricket content platform. Now, a lot of you are already aware of the work done by Covers of, but let me give you a few examples. Let's say on uh, in T20 cricket, if someone is not making 30 runs, they're getting stuck at 27, 28 runs, but they've scored them in 8 or 9 balls. That's a lot of impact, right? It might not be conventionally reflected in the fantasy scoring points or in the normal fantasy scoring platforms because that person hasn't hit 30 runs. But here, because they've created a big impact, they will be amply rewarded, meaning your team will be amply rewarded. Similarly, in Test cricket, it's not just about how fast or how slow a player played, but what was the match condition, what was the match situation, how important was an innings or a catch or a run out or a wicket for that team in the context of the match. That is all factored in. For example, is it a high scoring test match? Is it a low scoring test match? Which wicket was more important? When were the runs scored? Was the match saved because of a particular innings? These are all things which are factored in and it helps a lot. But if you're still wondering, okay, I'm interested, but do I have the money to play this? Let me assure you, there's something here for everybody's pocket. You can start from as low as 100 rupees. 100, that's 100 rupees. You can start from as low as 100 rupees, and depending on your wallet size and your risk appetite, remember it's always important to play responsibly. You can go up to as far as 3000 rupees right now. And in between, there's some slot or the other for everybody. So go out there, look up Cricbattle online, and then make sure to create a league which suits you, or you can join a league which has already been created by someone, and then get your friends, your cousins, your office colleagues, and see who comes out better. Right? Remember, you can create leagues of two or three or four people, and the way the league works is you have the full squad list of all the players in the match before you, and then one by one, as you pick players, they keep disappearing off that option list while they're going into your teams. And depending on the number of players in the mini league you have created, your team can either have 11 players or 8 players, and you can have two people in a league or three. Talking of which, we have two players today, two contestants. One is Akash, he's the challenger, and the other, of course, is Crazy Johns. That's right, the very man from social media. Guys, let me ask you one by one, how are you doing and how have you been dealing with the post IPL break? Akash, you?
I guess it's a much needed break from cricket after 2.5 months. Yeah, IPL was
Right.
very exciting, but at the later end, it was a bit tiring to just view daily for more than 4 hours. So it was a much needed break, and yeah, it is a greater comeback with Test cricket.
Greater comeback. Yeah, especially for supporters of teams who didn't win the IPL. After the IPL, we always say that IPL is franchise cricket, Test cricket is the real cricket. Johnson, on that note, how has your break been going? How are you doing, my man?
It has been great after IPL from a break from T20 format as well. It has been 3 months India played at Test cricket, so really looking forward to WTC final.
Really looking forward to WTC. In fact, all of us are. On that note, before the game gets underway later today, let us show you how these two create and select a team. And remember, midweek, Wednesday, how to beat the office and the weather blues is by joining on Cricbattle and playing this new form of fantasy cricket. So we'll show you, we'll share the screen with you, and we'll show you how these guys select their teams. And remember, it's a live auction. These are not teams which have been pre-decided. You can decide your order of preference maybe, but you can't actually decide your teams earlier. So a lot depends on what the other players select. Okay, so let's see if we can share the screen with you guys, and then you'll be able to see how the auction room works. Uh, there you go. That is the Creek Battle auction room. Now remember, right now in the option list, you have everybody from Virat Kohli, Steve Smith, through to Marnus Labuschagne, Alex Carey, Ishan Kishan, all the squad members, because we don't yet know who's going to be playing in the starting 11, and there's always, of course, the chance that a player might get injured. Now that's a bit of a risk for you to take, because remember you can't change these teams after the toss. But hey, normally it works out well, and it works out evenly for all the contestants. Right. Once the draft is started, as you can see on the top right hand corner, once the draft is started, each contestant will have 1 minute to draft in a player. And the way the auction works is first, player one drafts in one player, then contestant two drafts in one player. That is the end of round one. Then contestant two begins round two. So it is A, B, B, A. In case you're confused, just follow us and you'll figure this out. Right. So let's start the draft at this point, and then we'll see how the teams are populated. So whenever you are ready, best of luck, guys. Remember, this is Test cricket, so different factors come into the mind. Who's got better skills? Who's better suited to these conditions? The Test match is being played in London, so maybe if it was played in India, the two of them might have gone for spinners more. But because it's being played in England, they might look to the Pacers first. So there are all these things to be kept in the back of the mind. Right. So can we start the auction, please? There you go. The draft is in progress. And let's see who goes first. Is Akash on the clock?
No, it's Jones.
Okay, so Johns is the one who's going to select the first player. Let's see who Johns goes with. Remember, you can take the full minute if you are participating to think, and if you're not selecting till the end, then the system auto selects one for you. You don't lose out on a player. What can also happen is if you have pre-decided a priority list, then the system will check the whether the player in question is available. They'll select that player into your team, or rather they'll draft that player into your team. And if that player is gone, the system automatically goes to the next available player from your list and drafts them into your team. So let's see who's the first player who goes into Jones's team. And the first player to have gone into Johnson's team. Drum roll, excitement, excitement. Will it be Virat Kohli? Will it be a bowler? Will it be an Australian? What do you guys feel? Will Steve Smith be the obvious pick? We'll find out shortly. The system is updating the teams, I think. Okay, this is taking a bit longer than usual. Maybe because it's Test cricket, everything stretches out a bit. I'm kidding, by the way, guys. These things happen fast enough. For those of you wondering, but sometimes hey, glitches can happen here and there. Sometimes it's just a net connection thing. So let's see. We'll find out shortly who the first player for Jones is. Or is there an issue? We'll find out soon enough. Sometimes there might be some technical glitches. Let's see. Ah, okay. It says the draft sequence is not defined yet. Maybe that's something for the guys to look at. Meanwhile, I think the baton has now passed. Uh, Akash, are you on the clock now?
Oh no, it's still loading
Oh,
for me
it's
actually.
oh, it's still John's. John's, if you are able to, then feel free to select a player. Don't worry, people. These things can happen sometimes. But remember, we've done it so many times during the IPL as well. And it's been these two guys. We've also been joined by Alagappan at times. And it's been a lot of fun. In fact, there seems to be a little glitch, so we'll just sort that out. But meanwhile, if we have to look ahead to the test match, then Akash, let me ask you a few things. In your view, given the conditions, the hot topic is should India play Ashwin or should India go with four seamers? What is your view?
According to me, we should pick the best 11,
Hmm.
and if we talk about best 11, Ashwin should be definitely there. That's what Virat Kohli always says in the interviews. So
Yeah,
more than pitch, we need best 11 players.
yeah. Oddly enough, when Virat Kohli himself had gone to England, he didn't always select Ashwin, but we'll see how that happens. Right, I think we are back, and let's see this time who goes into Johnson's team. Remember the discussions we are having about pitch and conditions. There you go. First pick Steven Smith goes into Johnson's team. No surprises at all there. After that, round one pick two goes to Akash. Let's see who Akash selects. Akash has selected Virat Kohli. Interesting because Virat Kohli, some might say, with the ball swinging outside the off stump and with the pace attack Australia has, need not necessarily be the first pick, but hey, he's a champion batter. Let's see who Akash goes for as a second pick. He can take. Oh, he selected two Indian batters. He's gone for Shubman Gill. After which, Johnson quickly moved on to pick Cameron Green and Marnus Labuschagne. Okay, so this is now shaping up to be an India and Australia thing. So let's see who Akash goes with. He has gone with Ravindra Jadeja. So which Aussie will Johnson's team pick up? Let's see. Or will he finally pick up an Indian? No, oh, in fact, Akash is the next. He has to pick up another player. He picked up Cheteshwar Pujara, after which Johns has finally picked up an Indian. He's picked up Pat Cummins and Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is the only Indian on Johnson's team till now. Does Johns know something which all of us don't? Does he know how the match is going to go? I'm starting to get worried now. Let's see. Akash is on the clock. Who he goes with? He has picked up Mohammad Siraj, and he remember he starts the next round. So who does he go with in the next round here? There's still Mohammad Shami, guys. There's still Nathan Lyon. There is David Warner. There is Mitchell Stark and Ravichandran Ashwin. He's still up there. Now, Akash was just talking about him a while ago, saying that best 11 will play. Let's see if he puts his team where his opinion was and if he goes with Ashwin this early. Uh, so after Siraj, Akash has selected Shami. So those are the two Indian pacers. And Johns has selected Usman Khawaja and Travis Head. So Rohit Sharma must be doing something special because he's the only Indian to have made it to Johnson's team till now. After that, Akash has selected David Warner, which would be his first Australian. Okay, so now there's a bit of a crossover. After which, Mitchell Stark has also gone to Akash's team, and now it's moving pretty fast because Shardul Thakur and Scott Boland have both gone to Johnson's team. Now, remember, all of you know Shardul Thakur. Clearly, Johnson is hoping that Shardul Thakur plays today because of his batting ability and his Lord factor. Scott Boland, for those of you who don't know, Scott Boland is Aussie quick who's been around for some time now. Uh, you can look him up online. It's also an inspiring story because he's also got some native Australian blood in him. But more than that, he's also a real good pick. Uh, To be in the team ahead of the likes of Michael Naser means that you must be pretty special in your skill sets and your abilities. But will he be able to do well against India? We'll see. With that, by the way, the teams have been completed. So let's go through the teams once, and then we'll ask both of the contestants to explain to us their thinking. For those of you watching, in case you're wondering, for Johns or even for you if you want it, you can always pre-frame a roster which you think is the priority list to be drafted, and then the system can do your work for you whenever the auction goes live. You don't actually have to take time out from your important office meeting or from your tuition class or from your college class to do this. So what you can do is you can pre-select the priority list, and then when the auction goes live, the system will just check if player number one is available, then player number two and player number three, and depending on whoever has been left, whoever has not been selected by your opponent, that player will get drafted into your team. That can also make the auction a very quick process. Right. So let's see what the teams are. Let's go through the challengers team first. He's got Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill, Cheteshwar Pujara, David Warner, Ajinkya Rahane, Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, Mitchell Stark, Nathan Lyon, Ravindra Jadeja, Srikar Bharat. The notable thing I see is that he's gone with two spinners. He's got a lot of Indian batters, and he does not believe in the Australian batting much, except for David Warner. Akash, what was your thinking behind picking up these players?
Yeah, so for the first 4 to 5 picks, I thought of picking players who are high on confidence right now, who are currently in good touch. So Virat, Shubman, Jadeja, and including Pujara, who has done very good in county right now. And I have picked people who are high on confidence, which will definitely help them in this important match. And also, along with the experience of Virat, Pujara, Jadeja in these important matches, I think they will perform.
Yep. So there you go. Not just skills, not just conditions. Sometimes confidence is also a big factor. Or at least Akash says it's a big factor. Now he might very well be rewarded if these players go on to score centuries. But if they also go on to score 20 runs or 35 balls, then maybe he might not win this little fantasy draft. But let's see. Johnson's team. He has Steve Smith, Rohit Sharma, two heavy hitters right up top. Usman Khawaja, Travis Head, Pat Cummins, Shardul Thakur, Scott Boland, Umesh Yadav, Cameron Green, Marnus Laruskagne, and Alex Curry. Now, there again, the notable thing is that he is clearly expecting Umesh Yadav to play ahead of Jaydev Unadkat, and he's also not got that much faith in the Indian batting because he's packed his team with Aussie batters. John's thoughts on your team?
I think they'll be playing Umesh Yadav mainly because if you look at the last Oval Test match, Umesh bowled really well against England. Still remember that wicket of Joe Root as well. So the experience factor will be coming, even though they might look for a bowler who can provide that dry spells, etc. that Unadkat can provide. But still, the experience factor in the big game, I believe they'll be backing Umesh Yadav to do well in this final. Then, if you look at Rohit has been the best batter of Indian team after Rishabh Pant in the last two cycles in Test cricket. If you compare away conditions and home conditions as well, and even in the WTC final as well, last year in 2021, he started really well. I think he
Yeah.
scored 30, 230 something. Even he made out of the new ball, etc. Even though he couldn't convert, but still he showed that caliber. So I believe Rohit will be coming good. And if you look at Australian batters, they have more experience or they have done more in these England conditions. If you look at 2019 Ashes, even if you look at Travis Head has been showing great caliber in Test cricket at number five. The way he has been batting in last 1 or 2 years, he has been the best batter of Australian team in terms of consistency as well. I believe this team as an all-round setup can come good in this game for me.
Yeah, there you go. Detailed explanation there by Johns as to why he thinks the players he's selected would probably have a good chance of giving him points. What do you think? And if you feel that you can do better than these guys, then you're welcome to do that. All you need to do is look up Cricbattle online, log into the platform, create an account if you don't already have one. And then, yes, you can read up the rules, you can start your own mini leagues, you can create your teams, you can invite your friends, family, colleagues, cousins, whoever, and you can boss over them with your knowledge if you think you're better than them. Or if not, we'll find out soon enough. By the way, if you're listening to these guys, you would also have gotten a lot of insights into how they think and how you can take their thinking. The way I see it, I would probably have gone with some of the Indian batters, but I would have tried to stock my lineup with pacers as well, because ultimately at least 30, 35 wickets are probably going to fall in the 4 5 days. And I have a feeling that most of those wickets might just end up getting picked by the pacers. So that way, while you can't be sure exactly who will score runs, it's probably a safer bet as to who will end up taking the wickets. So you can spread it all out evenly. On that note, alarm bells are going off and bells are going off everywhere. So till the next time we meet you, we'll take leave. We'll take your leave from all of us, from Akash, from Crazy Jones, and from me, Antariksh. It's bye for now. Remember to keep playing, to keep tuning into Cricbattle, and to join us for more such fun draft fantasy auctions. Till the next time we see you, it's bye from all of us.